So we'd probably have like a day off and then maybe take away one really hard day and then continue with our training after that race. And it wouldn't be really hard after that race. And then we can kind of keep going and work on our aerobic conditioning because we take a lot out of us.
So when we're looking at taper, here we have overreaching and overtraining. And this really represents what we've just discussed with you having a single major race and the risk of overtraining, and then overreaching with a continuous race season or race calendar where you're racing, almost every weekend. So if you look at the blue line there, it zigs up and down. And hopefully through, you come in and you have like your performance level, like the base kind of level, which is that black line in the middle. And coming off a base phase, maybe you're a little underdone, right? Or overdone, however you want to say it. But as we race and we recover, we start to increase our adaptation to our training. We're starting to apply those harder sessions on top of our aerobic development, and we recover from them, which is also important. And so maybe, after a couple big races, we've regressed a little bit and we're below that black line. But as we progress through our season, hopefully we've been able to maintain a bit of aerobic development as well as our peaks, our event-specific training, and we can start to, along with that adequate recovery, compensate, adapt, and improve. And that's the blue line. Then we have the green line, which is under recovery. And this is definitely how I approach ultra events, because, when you're running 100 miles or you're doing an Ironman, it's taking on average, an Ironman's taking on average about 13 hours, and 100 miles is taking pretty much a day, right? Like, to get the buckle, you got to go into 24. So we can't do that. We just can't do that every weekend. Can't do that once a month. You can't train for more than like a steady 10 hours. So what we have to do is under recover, so that there is a large amount of residual fatigue within our body, so that when we do train, we're starting to feel what it might be like to be at hour 9 or kilometer 100 or mile 80 within your event. And with that means you start to dig pretty deep into the under recovery hole, or the overreaching, overtraining pit. And what we want to be able to do is allow ourselves to have this, like I said, really long 3 to 4 week taper to pull ourselves, that red line, that active recovery, that taper line, all the way back up to the race, and we get this huge super compensation. Whereas if we progress a bit too far, if we don't have those micro recoveries, you see the zigzagging green line, if we don't have those, then we will continue to under recover. We won't get any recovery, and then as we get towards the race, we won't get any super compensation. We'll pretty much just be
overtrained.
Yeah. We'll just be
We've
cooked,
been there,
and you'll be flat.
Yeah,
I've been there. I can see, yeah, for sure. And that's the risk. That is the real risk of these big events, and not continuously being able to test yourself, and like being scared of the distance can also force you down that rabbit hole. I've seen many athletes lost down there, myself included.